All right, hey everybody. So my name is Greg, and I'm going to be doing a unboxing and a build all in one video, and hopefully it's not going to go too long. If I have to break it up into an unboxing and then a build, then we'll see if we can do that. But otherwise, this is my very first time doing a video like this. But I thought, hey, I'm building a computer anyway, and almost all the parts came in all at the same time. So I might as well do unboxing and the build for you. So if you ever wanted to learn, if you ever wanted to learn how to put together a computer, it's far easier than it ever was. And especially if you buy quality parts, and I'll get into that in just a minute. So let's get started with the unboxing. So this is my office. This is where I work, and this is what I do primarily is photo and video production. And what I learned was lately, now that I'm getting into some 4K video with a drone, is that my old computer, which is still pretty much a strong computer for just about anything, it really doesn't do so well with the 4K. And because I want to be doing some larger projects, I would like to see stuff happen in real time, and you need slightly better components than what I've had. My computer under here is about 4 years old, so it's about time. So, all right, so here's what we've got for our build and our unpacking. So we have a motherboard, the X99 motherboard for the X99 chipset. We have 32 gig of fast RAM, DDR4 RAM. This is 2666 megahertz. Blazing fast. Not the fastest you can get, but the fastest I felt like I wanted to spend on memory. And it was important for me to get 32 gigabytes, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. We have a new power supply. This is the EVGA 750 G2 Gold, and what that means, gold, when you're talking about gold, is it's extremely efficient, meaning it's 90% or more efficient throughout the stress that you're going to give this. The reason why you want a good power supply is for all these components, they need a very, very steady, very, very true flow of power. And if we have any screwing around or something like that, we certainly don't want to damage our parts that we spent so much money on. So it's always a good idea to spend a little bit more than you think you might on a power supply. All right, so we got that. I'm sorry, it was 80 plus. I misspoke. It's 80%. I thought I read 80. Excuse me. I thought I read that 80 plus was 90%, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, all right. We also have a. Whoops. We'll put that here. We also have a card reader. I've been wanting one of these for a long time for this reason, because forever I've been using this piece of crap. And when I say piece of crap, it's not. I mean, it's a card reader. It does what it's supposed to do, but it would just be so much more convenient to not have this floppy dongle thing hanging off the front of my computer using up one of the USB ports in the front of the case. So this is going to plug directly into one of the 5 1/4 slots in the case, and it's got all kinds of crap in it. It's got like it's got more USB 3 ports. It's got all the readers you could want, and that's all you got. So it's a cheap little thing to add to your build to make things a lot easier for you in the long run, especially for me because I'm always swapping in and out memory cards. Okay, and then we have the Corsair H105 water cooler for the processor. This is the first time I'm going with a water-cooled system, and the reason why is because I care a lot about how loud the system is. I care how noisy the room is when I'm working, and my old computer, although it is very quiet, it's just not quiet enough, and the single loudest fan in there is the one that cools the processor. So I decided this time, and I also want to do a little bit of overclocking, not much, but I want to make sure that it's safe to do so, and water cooling is probably the best way to go if you're going to be doing any kind of overclocking. And with these closed, this is a closed system, meaning no maintenance at all, which is good for me because I'm bad at maintenance. I'm not good at keeping up with things. So a closed system is good for somebody who's lazy. and it's also much easier to install, and it's foolproof. You really can't screw it up because these are all sealed up at the factory. You don't have to worry about tightening fixtures or making sure you're using the right water and whatever glycerol anyway. Oh, and then what are we gonna put in this? Oh, let's show you what I'm gonna be putting in this. I got a new case because why not? You know, you have to get a new case. The reason why I got a new case is because I want to build this and continue having a usable computer. So at some point I can just swap into the new computer. And I'm going to talk about that in just one second. Now this is the Enthoo Lux computer case. It's a full case. It's a monster. It's huge. And one of the reasons why you want to get a case that you probably have more room than you need is A, easy to build, and B, you like that, 1 and 2, A and B? B, the airflow through the case is much nicer, so you can use bigger, slower fans to push more air through, and you don't have to have a wind tunnel going on in there to keep everything cool. And that's going to also keep down noise, so that's important to me. Now, they have a couple other models of the Enthoo, but this one has really cool lighting on the outside, and I thought I'd douche it up just a little bit. It's still not one of those weird red and black transformer looking things. I mean, it's nice enough that I could put it on the top of my desk if I wanted to, and it wouldn't be too gaudy. It's just gonna sit underneath, and it's gonna give me some nice little ambient glow underneath my desk, you know, just cause, who knows. Anyway. All right, so those are the components that we've got. You will notice two things. Two things is, one, I don't have a processor to put in this system. The reason why I don't have a processor is because it's not here yet. I have ordered the Intel Haswell-E 50, I don't remember which one it is. It's not the 5960, because that's the super awesome one, and it's not the entry-level one. There's really only 3 Haswell-E processors out right now. The smallest one, the least fast one, I suppose. And the reason why I didn't go with that is because some of the data channels are disabled by default from Intel. I don't know why. I didn't read up enough about that. And then the super fast one, well, that's like $1,100, and I can't justify spending that much on a processor that I know in 2 years you'll be able to pick up for $400. So I just couldn't spend that much money on that. So I went with the middle one. It's got 6 cores, and they are your last generation of Intels are only 4 core. That's what I've got right now, is a 4-core 2600. And this new one is going to be 6 cores, so 12 virtual processors, I guess is what it's going to be. So I should definitely be seeing at least 50% more performance out of my computer, and I'm thinking maybe 100% more performance, because I'm going from a 2600 4-core 2 generations before, pretty sure it's 2 generations before, to a latest generation 6-core running super fast. Anyway, okay, so let's get back to the unboxing of everything. This is the first time I'm opening any of this stuff, by the way, so you know, who knows. Anyway, so it looks like we've just got kind of like your bare bones, here's your motherboard type situation. Oh no, we got a bunch of stuff under there. So it's always important to touch something metal to ground yourself. Now I'm in Orlando, Florida, so it's humid here, and I'm standing on a wood floor, so it's not like I'm, you know, shuffling around in my socks building up any electric charge. So it's all good. I'm pulling it right out of this thing here, and you see you've got your normal board. We've got eight places to put memory, and that's going to be important because on the old boards, I think the maximum you could go was 32 gigabytes of memory, and that was in a dual channel type thing, and basically just more efficiently uses sticks and pairs and stuff like that. This has quad channel, so it's going to be important to use 4 of the exact same sticks in these particular places, and we'll get to that in a little bit. And then so we've got expansion like crazy on this thing. I think this is 6 6 USB 3 and 4 USB 2. We've got, you know, your LAN, some PS2 stuff. Who uses PS2 anymore? I don't understand. And then some really good audio on this. It's called Crystal Sound 2, and apparently it's supposed to be much better than you know, your normal sound on normal boards. We've got 4, I think this is right, 4 PCIe channels here with 16. I think a couple of them are going to share, like if you plug in other things. They're not all going to run at 16 speed, but I've only got a single video card, so that to me that's not important that I have all 4 of them. I'm not going to be doing any multiple video boards, not at this time anyway. I've got a GeForce GTX 970 that I just picked up, which is pretty much going to be enough for the gaming that I do. Yeah, so what you're going to see on the back of this board is right here where the back plate is. On previous boards, there used to be holes that go all the way through that, and you would have to get to the back of the board to screw in your cooling system, either it's a fan or a water cooler or whatever. You would have to screw through this and get to the back of the board. This does not. You're going to screw right into screws into the front of the board, and you never have to even worry about getting to the back of the board. So that's going to be important for us in our build, because once I put this into the computer case, I'm not going to have to take it all apart. I'm just going to be able to drop the processor in, put the water cooler on there, and then I'm done. So we'll do that in a couple of days when the processor comes in to finish this video. This board has 10 in total. We've got 4 high speed, 4 regular speed, and then we got something called SATA Express. Now that's going to be the new standard that comes out very soon, and that's, I believe, going to be almost double the speed of your 6 gigabit per second. I believe it's 10 gigabit per second. So that's going to be fun once those drives come out and stuff like that. So those are going to be like ultra fast, very, very fast things. The other interesting thing this board has, which I did have on my old board, but I never used because, I don't know, I just never did. It's called an M.2 port, and what that is it's a little card. It's about that big, and it goes in this slot right here. You just snap it in right there, and what that is, it's like a SSD drive, and you know what I'm talking about, SSD drive. I don't have any sitting around, but they're just the very small solid state drives that you might have in your laptop or something like that. Anyway, this is much smaller, and it clicks right into the board there, and it's ultra fast. It is much faster than your garden average SSD. But again, we're not going to do that today because we're just not going to. I don't have any, and I didn't see any good reason to get one. Okay, so moving on with the rest of the board. So what else came with this? These are the SATA connectors. I think those are sometimes good to have because you might not have them with all the drives that you buy, and it's just nice to include them. So we've got 4. We've got 4 included. We have an SLI connector, which is if you're going to use more than one video card on the motherboard. We've got a back plate, and then we got these cool things. Now, if you've ever made a build before, and I'm gonna show you this close up just because it's fun. If you've ever done a build before on any that's not in focus. Whatever. I'll show you these later. If you've ever done a build before, you have all these tiny little pins right down here. And what these control is they control the little LEDs and the hard drive LED when the hard drive's on. The on LED, let's see, there's a couple other things that it does, but in the past, when you start plugging stuff in from your case, these are tiny little pins, and by the time you get everything installed, you gotta be a jeweler and have jeweler eyes and jeweler fingers to stick all those things in. What this does, this is very cool. This now acts as your thing. So you can have this out of the board, you're plugging in little things, and then eventually you just go, there, it's done. So you don't have to worry about getting in there in a cramped area, especially if your case isn't Mondo like the one I got. So it's gonna be very cool to work with that. Then we've got, a fancy sticker. I'm gonna put that on the back of my 99 Honda CRX. And then, I don't really have a 99 CRX. Anyway, and then we've got a manual here and a disk drive. Okay, okay. So we're going to put that away for just now, just for a little bit. We're going to come back to this, and let's take a look at the unboxing of the memory. Now, I'm not expecting much out of this unboxing of the memory, but we got here. Yep, that's basically what I was expecting. Nothing fancy. So it's basically just 4 sticks of 8 gig memory, and we'll put those in. They have heat spreaders kind of built into them. I've never felt memory sticks though, so I don't know how hot they get. I don't overclock my memory. I feel like that's a foolish thing to do, and you really don't get that much out of it, but we'll see. So let me just stick that right back in there. We'll get to that in a little bit. Okay, unboxing the power supply. Yippee. And again, this should not be super exciting because it's just a power supply. But I will show you what you get. Trash. Good. All right, and let's see, we're gonna do this guy right here. This is not the tool you should use for unboxing, but I don't have any prostitutes to kill, and this is my prostitute killing knife, so I'm using it instead to open the boxes. And let's see what we got here. This comes open like this. This comes open like, ooh, that's kind of fancy. We've got some really good packing material in there. Oh, look at this. Okay, so they gave us a little bag. And I have no idea what the bag would be for. You would think it would be to hold all your cables, but in every build I've ever done, you put your cables in and then you're done. I don't know, maybe it's to put the extra cables in so you can stick it on a shelf later, and then if you upgrade things, then you can go and find it. Anyway, all right, so let's look at, holy crap, this is heavy. Okay, that's kind of a good sign. Usually when things are heavy, that means they're built better. It's got a pretty sizable instruction manual for a power supply. They're generally speaking power supply. Look at this, it comes in a nice little box too, or bag. All right. So what we have here is we have not just a really good, powerful, efficient power supply, we have something that actually looks nice. And I think when you're paying this much for a power supply like this, it's not hurting things if they spend a little extra time. And this, I don't know if this is metal, and it's powder coated. So I've never actually owned a power supply that they put this much time and quality into. So a powder coated power supply, very good. And ooh, we have, oh, that's an interesting. We have a button on the back that's economy on and off. So I don't know if that's has something to do with maybe it dials down the amperage that it puts out or voltage that it uses. Now here we have all kinds of power supply or power leads, and one of the reasons why I wanted to get this as well is because it's module, and a lot of them are module lately, which is good because in the past you had 900 wires sticking out of your power supply, and here you only need to use the ones that you need to use. If you've got a motherboard and you have a video card and maybe you have a couple of hard drives, then you probably only need like 3 or 4 of these things sticking out of here. You don't need everything. So that also helps with your build. It keeps things neat and tidy if you don't have every single wire you got to hide somewhere. Okay. So that's really about it. There was one more thing in here. I don't know what this is. Oh, okay. So it looks like a blank. Yeah. I don't know why it's here, but it looks like this is a blank that you can just stick into. No. Okay, I don't know where that goes or what that does, but it's a weird kind of blank. I don't read instructions. It's a waste of time. It's an EVGA detection tool. I will read the instructions on what this is and what it does. But for now, I'm not gonna do it. So let me stick that back in the drug bag here. All right, and so we've got motherboard leads, we've got CPU leads, we've got SATA leads, we've got power cord, got tons and tons and tons of stuff that we're gonna get to later. So let me just throw this back in there. Now we're gonna look at the cooling. I'm gonna look at the water cooler, just because I'm sure that's exciting. I have no idea how this box opens. All right, here we go. That's dumb, by the way. If you're ever gonna use a knife or a blade to open boxes, never go toward you. You know, don't go, because that's how you end up with extra belly buttons. Anyway, you want to go away from you. Okay, whoa, this is cool. All right, so we have 2 fans that plug right in, which is really cool because the only negative thing that I read about this particular water cooling unit, other than glowing reviews on Amazon, was that sometimes the fans are a little noisy. Now, some people say can't hear the fans at all, don't even know it's on. Some people say fans are too loud, I had to replace them, which is kind of nice because fans are not terribly expensive. So if you need to replace them, if you want to use something that's a lot cheaper, it's really cool to have a system where they'll just plug right in. So, good. And then we have here, we have the actual cooling unit. So this is a radiator just like you have in your car, and then this is going to stick right to the processor. And then you've got a 3-pin lead here that's going to plug right into your fan controller on the motherboard. So very good. You should probably be very careful with the radiator because oh, look at that. And we got a ton of different brackets and braces and screws. We got thumb screws. This is great. This is going to be super. All right, and I'm hoping there's an instruction manual for this since I've never done an install before like that. Oh yeah, we do have one. Good. Okay. All right, we're gonna set that aside, and now we'll look at this. It's gonna be boring. I might just skip this area, this part. But so you've got a couple of leads coming off here. This is a USB connector, and then you have extra USB connectors that I don't know what they do. Yeah, so pretty self-explanatory. You've got your converter. I don't think that box will do it, but sometimes you can stick a 3.5 right in there. Otherwise, you have a 5.5 or 5.25 adapter that'll fit right in there. Okay, so let's get to the fun part. Let's get to that. Let's get to that monster sitting on the floor right there. I'm gonna put this to the side. Very good. Okay. Whoops. I should have put those back in here. I will get to those later. 2 hours later. All right. So let's take a look at this monster here. Oh, wow. All right. So we're going to open her up. We're going to take a look around our new case. And to do this properly, you can't see me. To do this properly, I'm going to pull it out from down here. Holy crap. Okay, oh, okay, I know how to do stuff like this. And here we go. Now it's gonna work. Now we got it. All right. Trash. Okay. Woo. This is a beast of a case. And I did this very much on purpose. The last build I did, oh, well, son of a gun, it's on its side. The last build I did, I also got a full-size case, and let me tell you, It was like night and day difference how awesome it was to work inside of a full case than the mid-sized tower that I had been using for the last couple builds I did. All right, so here we go. I apologize for the audio. I'm sure you're going to hear a lot of ooh, crickly and crackling. Okay, so you might have heard that on the audio. I just zapped myself twice touching this, and the reason why is because when you are dealing with plastic on anything really, the styrofoam stuff, that will create a lot of static electricity. So, very important, if you don't have a anti-static clip or wristband or whatever, you just want to be very mindful when you're using stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to turn it around to this side because what you were looking at was boring. And so what we've got here is we have a really, really nice case. And what we got here is basically it's stealthy. It looks pretty. I mean, it looks nice. So we've got this little flap up right here. We've got USB 3, USB 2, headphones and microphone, and we've got a reset button. Ooh, it's not one of those super pushy in ones either. It's just like a little clicky. You can hear it. And then we have a second little clicky button, and what that is super cool. You've got LED lights that go along these two channels right here. And they just put out a nice little ambient light, and this cycles through, I don't know, like 9 different colors that it can do. Okay, so that's cool. I guess my reader's gonna go here, and then I'm still gonna use an optical drive because I still sometimes burn CDs to give them away and stuff like that. Fewer and fewer people have optical drives now, so a lot of times that's kind of a moot point. Anyway, okay, something this case has that my old one didn't have, which was really disappointing, is removable screens for to keep the dust out of the case. My old case down here, it looks really nice, moves a ton of air, but the problem is when I took it, I recently took it apart to put a new video card in it. Oh, and I'm gonna have to figure this out real quick. It was a disaster in there. I mean, it was a mess. So I spent the next 20 minutes with a vacuum cleaner and a compressed air gun, just cleaning that out. Also, something very cool about this particular model over the other, what is it, Enthoo, is this little, you just pop that up right there. You can take this out. And that is also another screen or a dust screen. In the other ones, it was a bitch. It was an absolute bitch to get to this top thing. And being lazy, so much easier for me to, whoops, did that? Yeah, there, okay. So much easier for me to make it easy for me to keep my case clean. And then there's another one back here that goes all the way along the bottom. So, okay, so let's take it apart and take a look what's inside. I'm going to leave these on for right now. These are plexiglass. This is protection for the plexiglass windows. Now, if I would have had my choice, I wouldn't have had the plexiglass windows. I think that's a little dorky, but and I'm not a 17-year-old gamer who has his friends come over and like, oh, cool, man, you got like all kinds of really cool lights in there. So I'm not putting lights inside of my case. And I'm going to get out of the light right here because I look like Casper the Ghost. But first we're going to take this off. Whoa, look at that. Okay, so that pops off just like that. All right. So this is something else I heard about this particular case. Look at the instruction manual the case comes with. That's pretty cool. We've got zip ties. We've got soft ties. And look at this. They give you a really cool box of screws. And it's probably murder on the sound, I apologize. But they give you such a cool box, and it's basically so that you got everything you need all here. And I hate that I'm so bright, but we'll figure that out in a little bit. And then you have things like water pump bracket, and this is a water, this is all for like big water system mounting, and we're not going to use any of that in our build, so I'm just going to put that away. But it's nice to know that it comes with it for mounting options inside there. So very cool extra that Enlu did for you. Whoopsie. All right, so let's look at a couple of things right here. You have a very big, I think that's a 140 millimeter fan in the back here. You can't see it. Anyway, it's there. And right here, right in there, we've got a very big 200 millimeter fan, which is pretty awesome. And there's another 140 fan right in the top. Ooh, that might be bigger than 140. No, it's 140. So there's a big 140 fan right here. Other cool things about this case. You don't really, oh, look at, what is all this? I don't know what that all is. That's going to come out. But so what we have here is we have this very hard thing right there. Well, the power supply, that really beautiful power supply that I probably spent more money on for the really cool powder coating. We're not ever going to see that thing in this case because this case cover sort of just hides everything in there, which is really cool, really nice. It's not that power supplies are ugly, but the only power cords that we're probably ever going to see is a single power cord coming out of this little hole right here into our video card. So that's going to be fun. And maybe not even that. Maybe I'll run it up through the back of this out of one of here. So this isn't the exciting part so much. You'd have to remove this whole thing to see, to see the hard drives. Now normally when you've got a build like this, especially in my old case anyway, you put all the hard drives in this side, but that was a dumb idea because all the connections were in the back. So if we turn this around, this isn't light. I mean, I'm making noises like it's heavy, but it's not really light. All right, so let's take these thumb screws out. And it's really nice that the thumb screws, they have little rubber grommets on them. So every little bit of noise reduction was thought about for this. Now look at this. This is pretty cool. And I'm making finger marks and stuff like that, whatever. Okay, so here's what we've got. All the hard drives are going to go right in here, and they're all easily removable. Let me pull these things out of here because they're kind of in my way. I want to make sure I'm not pulling something that's important. There we go. Okay. I believe that was just some sort of a shipping thing. Anyway, so here's what we've got that's really cool about this case is a lot of the cable management is already kind of done for you. We have these soft pulls right here, which keep everything nice and tight in there. We have a pretty decent sized channel down in here where your power wires from your power supply are gonna sit in. Now my old computer, I had about a ½ inch maybe of space to put in there, and the back of my case always bulged out just a little bit because I had more wires that would fit than would fit in that. This seems to have more of a channel, maybe 3/4 of an inch, maybe an inch, to have wires sort of sit in those channels. Now what's really interesting, what's really cool, and I keep saying this is the really cool thing, there's two places right here where I'm going to mount SSDs. So I'm going to have my system drive here, the one that runs Windows, and then a swap drive. It's a slightly bigger one. It's to help with programs like the Adobe programs and stuff like that. Anyway, so it's really nice that these things are going to be here, and I'm never going to worry about them, never going to really see them, and never have to deal with them. So that's kind of cool that we've got 6 full places for hard drives here, plus 2. That's not bad. Then we have this little thing right here. This is kind of cool. This is a fan hub. And on some motherboards, this one in particular, it has what's called, I don't know what it's called. I'll probably pop it up on the screen because I forget what the name of it is. But what it does is you plug one cord or one thing into your motherboard, and then the motherboard controls all of the fans in your case. So if your case is warming up a little bit, it'll tell the fans, hey, speed up a little bit, we're working too hard and stuff like that. And then when they don't have to work, they could even shut off. So that would keep your sound, your noise level to the absolute minimum, or excuse me, it'll keep the sound to the absolute maximum that's necessary to keep your case cool and your components safe. So, I mean, a lot of cool things about case design, and it's just made it's made building computers so much easier lately. I've been building computers for many years. I've been more than I'd probably like to admit. And it used to be a pain in the ass. And I say ass when I mean ass because it used to be a pain in the ass to build computers. And I don't know how this goes back on, not that way. Okay. Really? How does this go? Huh. Well, I've already forgotten and screwed up how to do this. I'm gonna cut this out in post. Oh, because I'm doing it backwards, that's why. All right, that little thing fits right in here and we swing shut, there we go. All right, so I'm going to stop this video. We're gonna take some close-ups of things that are gonna be important. And you've already seen them. I haven't shot them yet, but I'm gonna... Good, there's my dishwasher going off. And once we're done with that, then we're gonna actually start the build. We're gonna put a computer together and I'm gonna talk through it as much as I can to try and help you in the future with your first build if you've been nervous about making a computer or building a computer out of parts. So let's take a break and I'll be back in a minute.